Start your day with the Photoshop Creative Challenges every day this week at 9 a.m. Pacific. Tune in and challenge yourself with a new prompt each day. Want to learn more about Adobe Express? Check out the replays on our Adobe Express channel with Catliente and learn more on how to design simple overlays for your Twitch channel. Hello, everybody. I am DTM, aka Delta Tango Mike, and we are now in day 2 with the amazingly talented Stephanie DeAngelis, an illustrator and designer from Los Angeles, California, showing us how to take your artwork to the next level. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dan. I'm doing well. And thanks everyone for joining back in for day 2. How are
Well,
you doing this morning?
I've been really great, enjoying myself and learning so much from you. I like hanging out with artists so that I can kind of learn their secrets. And I know it's not a secret because they're not trying to keep a secret from me, but it's like this is your process that you've designed for yourself, and I'm always interested in what is those processes like. So I'm having fun.
Yeah, no, I love talking with other artists and illustrators and like sharing secrets and like learning different workflows too. So yeah.
Nice. So what do you have for us today?
Awesome. Yeah, so jumping into Fresco now, just a little recap from yesterday. We or I, I was working on the different little vignettes with the trees and houses and people that would be on a tote bag design.
Mm-hmm.
So from yesterday, we had the template that we were working in. And before we signed off yesterday too, I just refined some of the sketches, and afterward, I just cleaned things up a little bit to get ready to jump into color today.
Nice.
Yeah, so today we'll bring in color, and since this is a product that's going to be printed, I will be using vector brushes so
Mm-hmm.
that I can ultimately bring the file into Illustrator if needed, or clean it up in Fresco, and produce a file that's ready to be sent to a printer.
There you go. This is my favorite part. Vector
Yeah,
brushes. Let's see.
yeah, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to so today what I think I'm gonna start with, since we're gonna move into color, I personally like to start with a color comp of my piece.
Mm-hmm.
So color comp, if anyone's not familiar, it's just a quick pass at color. It's not so much detailed, it's rather like you're laying down the color on your piece to plan out before you jump into the final. It's not always needed. I just like to do it because I think it helps you go through all those, what about this color? What about this color up front?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into actually drawing the shapes and filling it in, it's a little more of a smooth process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I like to start with a color comp, and then you get to play with different color palettes, kind of have that explore phase there, and then jump into like a more final phase. So yeah, I'm gonna open my vector brushes. So my favorite is the round brush. I think it's such a smooth line. I'm gonna play
Mm-hmm.
around with the pressure dynamic a little. I'm gonna bring it to like 45. Just test that out. Yeah, I love
Mm-hmm.
the round brush. I think it's super smooth. Has like a marker quality in my opinion. Definitely a contrast from like the sketchy quality of the lines from the other brush, but yeah, I like it. It gives that smooth shape. It's not super smooth in the sense that you like lose some texture.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go into my library and start to pull some colors that I was thinking for this. And the composition has a little natural, like trees, there's some shadow, buildings too. Definitely been like inspired by buildings in LA. So I think I'm gonna keep those in like maybe like a cream or a pink tone. So I'm gonna bring that in first.
Mm-hmm. And looking at your library, color library, when you were selecting the color, is
Yeah.
this something that you have saved in your library so that you always have access to this exact palette?
Yeah. So I created swatches in
Mm-hmm.
my library on Photoshop, and since it's with the Creative Cloud, you can open it on different apps. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
created swatch libraries. Just it's helped me be able to work in different apps
Mm-hmm.
more effectively and like, yeah, easier than like importing colors or bringing in hex code. So yeah, it's a really nice, tool to use once you start to like identify colors you like to use, or like if you're working, especially if you're working on a project too that might have specific colors that you need to use throughout.
Yeah, it's better when you have it. And,
yeah.
And so that means that you have a very strict color palette that you stick with throughout your images, throughout your artwork.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I think for the most part, yeah, I know. It's like I used to have a pretty strong or strict color palette, and I'd only stay within there. But now I've been like branching out and bringing in other colors I like.
Right.
Okay. I have really tried to, yeah, color is definitely one of my favorite parts of illustration and design. I think you can do so much, and I've been really trying to like push color palettes lately, try to use like tints and shades within the colors I choose to really help add dimension to the piece too.
Yeah, and that's a thing that like with me, I ask, because I with my colors, I'm not that good of a color person, so I don't keep track of my colors, and maybe that should be the first step. At least keep track of colors that I know I've used before that worked well, and keep that palette. And that's a good something to think about.
Yeah, I totally think it's worth it, like going and looking at colors you like to use, and maybe like, I don't know, I don't really have like rules, but I like to stay around like maybe 5 colors, you know. And yeah, you can just like play with the tints and tones, or tints and tones and shades, and like saturation of it throughout. You know, there's a lot of different one thing I think is really fun too, and I'll probably play with this as we go along a little bit more, but you can always use different like blending modes to play with the colors as well. All right, so I like these, make this a little bit bigger. These 5 up here, the green, the pink, the orange, orangey, marigold yellow, a brown tone, and then a neutral tone, which is this cream, which I think I might start with the background color, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's just play with this.
While Stephanie is playing around with colors, let's give a shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. Wade Cuff in the house. What's up, Wade? Oliver, what's going on? Steve Festus, what's up, my man? Bruce Gonzalez, how you doing? Anika in the house, appreciate you. Oliver, Alejandro, we got folks from all over the world right now. That's cool. Anki, Jack, what's going on, Jack? And let's see who else we got. A lot of our usual suspects here. Bayola, haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome. And Latin Swami, Remy. And if our name is in a different language, I'm sorry. How you doing, Paloma? Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Remy says, I want to ask a few questions. Please do it in the chat. Leave us a question, and we will make sure we answer it.
Okay. Nice.
Thank you, Wade, for giving us a reminder that the chat is in English. And right now, Stephanie's building her color palette. Let's take a look.
All right, so when I first start doing color comp, I'll just create a layer beneath my sketch layers, and then just start filling things in. So we'll start with this composition down here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, or at least that's in this phase. I'm not super concerned about, keeping everything in line. It's definitely more just to see how things look together. So really like to try to have contrast.
I do that a lot too. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, don't worry. What's up? I
do that a lot also. Like sometimes I just start coloring. Yeah. Even if it's not the exact color I'm gonna stick with. Just because I need to start seeing what to edit. But without having put any color in, you don't know where the edits are going to happen until you see something. So you have to put something down.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, do you ever like to do warm-ups before you start your
Yes.
work?
Yes.
Yeah, I find too that this phase can kind of, since it's a little looser, it's a nice warm-up. You can just start throwing color down. You don't really have to, I think it helps just get out of your head.
Yes.
And onto the paper without being cheesy.
Yep, that's it. There you go. So you're using one layer for all the colors.
Yep. Got a vector layer down here, which is really cool too. If you want to look over to my layers panel, you'll notice that a couple, or this, but anyone who's new to Fresco might not know, on the different layers, they'll have a marker indicating if it's a raster or vector layer. So it helps you manage your layer and file well.
Yeah, and so yeah, I did notice that and I think you can always split up all the different elements in that layer into different layers. So when the warm up comes in, you can just do anything, just drop in the color, focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
definitely.
worry about your layers later.
Yeah, worry about them later. This is just a nice warm up, getting you used to working on paper, or sorry, not paper, on screen.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like paper now.
Almost, yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Hello, Remy. The question is, do you do one-on-one personal coaching? Is that something that you do, Stephanie?
I have never done personal coaching. However, I am always open. My DMs on Instagram. I have a contact form on my website. I can't promise immediate response depending on my workload, but I'm always open to take questions or answer anything you might have, and if that's something you'd be interested in, maybe in the future, yeah.
Okay.
Or at least I'm totally happy to like point you in the right direction if you're starting your creative career, and share with you some awesome resources I've used in the past and so forth.
Nice.
But thank you. I appreciate you even considering that.
Yes. You got amazing skills, and there's always extras that you can learn from one-on-one. So that's awesome. Remy, that is your answer. And there's the links to Stephanie's website, Instagram, and Behance. And just as an added note, that there are a lot of artists here on Behance who have subscription options, and you can subscribe to the artist to get further insights and possible one-on-one sessions with them. So you gotta find the artist that you like, check out their profile, and then reach out and subscribe if you want to. So Behance and Adobe are making it very easy to connect with artists and build on your skills. Super awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you for showing that. I probably would be interested in that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to toot my own horn, but yes, I do have a subscription also.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah. Oh man, I love to talk about art and drawing, but like you said, there's sometimes that you're under a deadline, so you gotta stay focused and shut the world out so that you can get the work done, and that happens every now and then.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Paloma Dora says ice creams are the new paper.
Yes. Oops.
So you're drawing some of the buildings in a layer underneath the colors of the tree layer, so that way you don't have to draw around the tree. You just draw on that layer behind it and get your full size shape.
Yeah. Just an easier way to go about it. Yeah, and then that way too, if you need to change the color of something, there's a little, there's some separation, even though since it's vector, it'll drop directly into that shape if it's on it. I just like to pull it behind, so yeah, it's easier to work it through there.
Nice. Nice. Remy says your work is amazing. I love it, and I want to be a designer myself.
Nice.
You can do it,
Well,
Remy.
you can definitely do it. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like directly self-taught illustrator because I did learn illustration a lot in college and that wasn't my major. That wasn't like my primary focus, but I'd always loved drawing. So I don't think you need to don't think that you need to get like a formal education, and especially there's so many awesome resources to learn creative skills nowadays online. So yeah, I'm excited for your journey.
Nice. Yes. And did you go to school? You said you kind of learned on your own, but did you go to school? Did you go to college? Did you get a degree?
Yeah, I got a BA in design. So I did go to school for design.
Okay.
And I worked as a graphic designer for several years after college. And I still sometimes do a fair amount of design work now in my freelance world. And I love design. I think, to definitely go back to my previous statement, I think having a design background helped my illustration career for sure. And then going off into a creative field after college and kind of working in that, definitely the proximity to that world helped me get into illustration for sure.
Yeah. And you pick up things along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. The school of life.
That's right. That's right. You know, and when artists say self-taught, it's not that you learn that you taught yourself. Is that you learn from things along the way, whether they're books, videos, magazines, tutorials, whatever. It's you picking up, or even experience is being in close proximity with another artist and watching them and learning from them. We all learn from someone else. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think I totally agree. Watching your favorite artist, listening to what they put out or watching what they put out, or if they do videos, watching that. For me, I know that I've learned from observation a lot, or in instances like this where you get the opportunity to like ask artists questions. I think if you can, through social media or in real life, or even in your creative day jobs, if you have them, network with people and build those relationships so you can ask questions. And it definitely helps for sure. It's hard to build that network, and it definitely takes time. But as you do progress in your career, making those connections or connecting, having people on social media who you can ask questions or just become friends with has really been helpful. I'm sure you can attest that too, Dan.
Oh yeah. And like right now, this is one of those moments where you get to ask questions, have access to a professional, someone who enjoys their work and is willing and open to answering questions and taking you through a couple of steps. And this is why a platform like Behance and streams like this are super important.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just asking about the school thing because I didn't go to school, and so but I'm a big supporter of artists asking questions because that's how I learn. I asked a ton of questions about any artist I can get a hold of who knew about something that I wanted to learn. Questions, and then putting to the test those things that they told me.
Yeah. I love that. Always asking questions, like always being open to learning too, and like having that desire to learn from all different sources is super important. And will definitely help you.
That's right. There you go. So you guys are in the right spot right now.
Yes. Any questions? I'm totally happy to answer. I mean, between the two of us, we'll definitely share.
That's right. I like the highlight in the tree. It's got the little sun. That's cute.
Yeah, so I'm laying down like the main color fills right now. I added this like darker purple um
For the shadow.
yeah, for the shadow, and I also like that color. Maybe the person's gonna wear that. Might add some more shadows in this building actually.
And I don't remember seeing you draw that yesterday. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, so yesterday I took a pass at the illustration, wanted to refine some things, and I was working on this upper right corner piece a little bit and wanted to pull, kind of make it a little wider, and added a tree that I liked. And I had a gal hanging, like looking out the window in the top right corner.
Oh,
And I
that's
like
right.
that. Yeah. And I like the square shape, but I didn't think it was really working. So I liked this building. So I kind of reworked it a little. Yeah.
There you go. Now I remember what happened here.
Yeah.
And I did notice the flowers. Those are your website flowers. Are they a particular type of flower?
Yeah. No, I have there's like a lot of, I'm lucky in my neighborhood, there's like a lot of flowers on the curb that kind of grow out, and there's these little tiny daisy looking ones I see everywhere. I mean, they might be a weed, I'm not sure. But they are super cute, and I have been drawn to that. I also like how the flowers kind of feel like rounded, and I was considering possibly putting in like clouds as a little in the corner. But I opted for the flowers, and then I also thought that I wanted to bring in some yellow or white down here, so like maybe alluding to the fact that those little pieces could be flowers too.
I like the idea of flowers being the clouds. That is cool. That's a good idea.
Or it could be sunny side up eggs too.
Yes. Oh man, I love me some sunny side up eggs. Yes. That is awesome. I want to live there. Wherever that is right there, I want to live and hang out over there.
Nice. Yeah. Peaceful vibe for sure.
Yes.
All right. So I think we'll go into working on the people. I'm going to start with this little dog.
Gonna go ahead and address some of the chat people in the chat. Bruce, thank you so much. Bruce says DTN has a great artwork ethic, by the way, very inspiring. Thank you, Bruce. I do stream a lot and share a lot of my creative process. It's very important to me that artists find their career path if that's what they want, or at least express their creativity with the tools they have available to them, because art is a beautiful thing, and not one of us owns these techniques or this knowledge. I think everybody should have access to it freely. So
I agree.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I go hard with it. Steve says, Stein, says, again, had a problem with the ruler. Well, I'm glad that Wade addressed that in the chat. Do make sure you report the bugs in Fresco. There is a way. I forget exactly where those settings are, but there is a way to report bugs and let them know. And it's important that you report the bugs so that we know also. I'm just saying I'm not a developer, so I don't get those reports. But it's important that developers know what system you're on, because then they can test for those systems. There's all kinds of computers out there. Some are more powerful than others. And it's important to know at what point will an app not produce what is expected. So yes, please share. And Remy, thank you for your questions. Is asking, can someone build connections and get freelance work if she is not or he is not studied designing professionally? And I think that's what we're talking about in some of these conversations right now, that you have to be around other artists. You have to find where the artists are and get into conversations like you're doing right now. And this is where it starts, because little tidbits of information is shared. And it's just, you just need to know just enough for you to go looking for more information and finding other artists. So that will provide the next step and the next step and the next step. So it really takes a community of artists.
I totally agree.
Wade says, egg and flower clouds. What a magical place, right? Can you believe it?
I love it.
And bacon just grows on the grass and stuff. He just
It comes out of the ground. You just pick it out.
Enlightened Swami says Stephanie seems to have a lot of secrets. Somebody make her reveal her secret. You're just gonna have to watch the replay over and over and over again and pick it up little by little. Yes. And Monique says that dog is so cute and awesome. Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, this is really great. Watching you put this together. This is one of those lo-fi channels right here. Like you got some cool tunes, relaxing, watching you draw. Yeah.
Yeah. Good way to start your morning or wherever you are. Afternoon, evening.
That's
a good wind down.
You need that moment of zen.
Yeah, absolutely. Artists need time to relax and hang out and chill with other artists. So.
That's right. Looks good. And I like the fact that you're using the same colors throughout all the different vignettes. And so that kind of pulls them all together while still being separate scenes.
Yeah, I think it totally, exactly what you said. It helps kind of create a through line. They seem like part of the same world.
And I think Remy wants to know more of your secrets, asking, how did you create your website? Did you use like an online platform to create your website, or did you have someone code it, or you coded it?
Yeah, I use Squarespace. What I did is just I chose a template that I was really drawn to. I don't really have any background with coding or developing anything, but I chose a template I was really drawn to that had a nice structure that after I had planned how I wanted to design my website roughly, or at least like components I liked, chose a template, and then I think it's a very user-friendly system to, drag and drop your content or, illustrations, design work, whatever. And then I just built it through there.
Nice. There you go. There it is, Remy. Hang out, ask questions, you'll get the answers. Yeah, Squarespace has been used by artists for a long time. And don't forget that once you set up your Behance portfolio, you could also have an option of using the portfolio side of Behance. So you set up your Behance account, set up your work on Behance, and then there should be a little tab that allows you to turn your Behance page into a portfolio website. And you can add an about me page, a contact form, and any other details. And there it is. Boom. Free portfolio from Adobe and Behance.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. Yeah. All right. Talking about creating a network and things like that, I highly, highly recommend putting your work on Behance. It's a great way to connect with other creatives in your field. It's a great way to get your work out there. I mean, when you get to that point, I've definitely received jobs from Behance too, and have connected with my artistic heroes on there too. So I highly, 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 highly recommend, and it's probably a note for myself too, to try to periodically update your Behance. Yeah, it's a great way to show off the projects that you've put a lot of work into. And it's a great way to connect with others in the Adobe community and beyond.
There you go. It's Behance has been around for a good little while. And my early days, as soon as I heard about Behance, I started my account. And then, but I didn't do anything with it. It was for a long time. I wasn't sure what to put up. You have that overthinking. I forget what the exact words are, but you overthink it and you don't do anything about it. And so I was having a conversation one day with somebody about my art, and they were a potential client. We were having a conversation about a project, and they asked, what's your Behance portfolio page?
Oh,
And
wow.
that's when I was like, oh, they're talking about something I should have been doing. And
Yep.
so, yeah.
It,
So, yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, now I got to get to it. I got home that evening. I said, well, let's go ahead and start putting some things in here. Mm-hmm.
yes. Nice. And you can, there's so many new features too that on Behance, like live streaming,
Mm-hmm.
subscriptions, and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Very
definitely
robust.
recommend.
Oh yeah, it's very robust nowadays. And so the difference between Dribble and Behance, Remy, is that in Dribble you get to put up a shot. That's what there's a whole basketball nomenclature going on there, but you get to put up a one image per project or post, and that's your shot. In Behance, it's like a portfolio slash blog. I don't even know how to explain it, but for each image that you see, go through Stephanie's Behance or mine, and you'll see that for every image that's there, once you click on it, there's a whole lot of information. Some of us add more information than others. I like to share my process and include screenshots of how I did the artwork and explain in words some of my processes so that others can learn from it and try it out for themselves. And so that's where Behance is really robust because you can include videos, images, text, links, and code into your page. And a lot of artists out there make very beautiful, beautiful posts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. You can learn so much. I love when people put sketch any part of their process in their projects too. It's super exciting to see. I love when you can see something from sketch to final. It's so cool because you know all the magic that happened between.
Yep. And it helps you get past your own insecurities. I mean, I've been an illustrator, a professional illustrator for a long time, but I still have those moments where like, how am I supposed to make that? You know,
Yeah.
and so then you dig around through other artists' portfolios and like, well, they started with a scribble scrabble too.
Yep.
A mess of sketches and lines. And okay, if you keep working on it, you can get there. But it all always has to start with something that is doesn't make much sense, but the lines need to get on the paper or the screen. It's very
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah. I totally
Mhm.
agree. Everyone starts from somewhere, and it's a good reminder not to don't not to get too much in your head when you're starting
Mhm.
out or when you're going to share things. And I think it can, especially on like Instagram, no hate to Instagram, but it can be very intimidating when you see
Mhm.
only the final product
Mhm.
in a very curated environment that
Mhm.
obviously that person worked hard to get to that point, but you don't see all the background stuff. You don't see all the years they've been an artist or how many hours they put into that. Um, so I can totally understand that when you're starting out, that can be very intimidating to see this beautiful final thing, but everyone starts somewhere, and I
Mhm.
like to humble myself and look at my old work sometimes.
Mhm. You can see how far you've come when you look back.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. So there's some tips right there. And this goes into the question that Wade asked: any tips for building a portfolio?
Yeah. It's a great question. So, depending on the type of work you do, my first thing would be find your artistic heroes and go out and look at how they've arranged their work. It's a really
Hmm.
great way to learn. It's not, I wouldn't, this is not implying copying how they share their work. It's just implying to take a look at how they are thinking about the stuff they want to share. So
Hmm.
that's a good thing. See, yeah, and see how other portfolios are designed. You know, do some research, find references that you like. And so forth. And then another thing I would say when you're thinking about building your portfolio too is think about the clients that you want to do or the type of work you want to create,
Hmm.
because I think that will help you inform how you want to craft your portfolio. So, like,
Hmm.
if you really want to, I'm trying to think, like, well, let's say you want to do animated work, for example. I know that you'd have to build a reel and start building that way. But if you really want to work and do, I'm just going to say, like, you want to do editorial illustrations, for example, and you want to do stuff for newspapers and magazines, start looking for the people who are hiring for those jobs and see if they've ever shared anything that they're looking for. Share. A lot of these editorial boards have places where they call for artist submissions or give artist pointers. Some news platform or some platforms even do portfolio reviews for students or people starting out. And then once you kind of have an idea of the stuff you're drawn to, or how you want to lay your work out, the type of work you want to do, then you can start filling from there. And I would say self-directed projects or like side projects or personal work is, if you don't have clients yet, is the best thing to do. Start doing pieces a couple times a week, or depending on your schedule, whenever you have time, do something weekly, or have a goal that you're going to create X amount of work by a certain amount of time. And then once you have a body of work that you like, or once you start getting a few clients, you can start to curate the things that you really like, and the things that are similar to the type of work you want to do. And you build from there. And I think too, when you're starting out, showing some of your process can also be very beneficial. And it doesn't have to be very detailed. It can just be as simple as, here's the original sketch and the idea, and maybe like the color comp, for example, like what we have here, so that clients or people who might reach out to jobs can kind of, even though you might not have a huge body of work, they can get a sense of how you work, which can be really beneficial. Hopefully that helps.
Ooh, that's long right there. You guys need to review what was just said.
Yeah. So, okay.
That was good. No, it's long, but it's good. It's thorough. No, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can sum it up. Yeah. If you want to sum it up, or the 3 takeaways would be: do some research about how artists present their work, use different, even from like the work they choose to show and maybe their process, to even web design layouts, or finding the best platform that you want to share your work on. Maybe if you're just starting out, it doesn't make sense to pay for an additional website subscription when you already have a Creative Cloud subscription and you have Behance. So maybe Behance is the best way to start out, so yeah, just ask yourself those questions initially and think about that. Yeah. So figure out what you want to do, figure out the type of work you want to create and the industry you want to work in, and see if they have any recommendations from there, or like see what they like to see. Like if you're very keen on getting an agent, for example, I know agents really like to see process. So having that. And then the third thing would be create a lot of work and then curate as you go.
That's right. Yeah. This is good. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it sound like you were talking a long time. It's just all good stuff. It was long because it was good stuff. And so I encourage everybody to review everything that was said, because it's all helpful. And yes, that's it. That's how it goes.
Yeah. No, I know it wasn't anything bad. I was thinking maybe I just rambled on. I want to make sure I can like get some 3 good points that people can take away.
There you go. Right. No, that's good. And that's good stuff. And, and so yeah, I support everything that Stephanie said. This is exactly how you start building your portfolio. And there is a question here that it goes with what Stephanie just said. Remy is asking, how can you find your own styles instead of copying others' work? And it's the same answer, is by trying things out as you continue to draw, even copying other artists' styles. As time goes on, you will find your place. You will find your style and the things that you like. So there you go. Paloma says, notes taken. That's right. Awesome. Yes.
Yeah. Finding your style is always a question that I get a lot. And I think it really truly comes from just doing a lot of work. You definitely, sorry, I'm just trying to find what layer I'm on. Oh, I have the erase tool on. That's why it's not working. Do a lot of drawing, work through styles, see things you like, do projects, come back to them and revise them. I think sometimes it's good to make up briefs for yourself too. Like, pretend your dream client reached out to you with your dream project. What would you create, and think through that whole process. of how you'd approach it. Do a million sketches up front and see what you're drawn to, and then go from there. And don't, I would say just focus on or gravitate towards the things you like, and just do a lot of work, and things will start popping out you like.
Start with the things you like first, and it's okay if you like a lot of different things.
Yeah,
it's good. It's okay to explore as much as you can in the beginning, so that you can find the things you don't like and stop doing those after a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's a process. It's definitely a process, not something that's one step. It's several steps. And if you want to rewatch this later, you can always come back after the stream is over and watch any of these streams on demand, where they're available when we're offline, and have replays on both YouTube and Behance. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the creative goodness. And if you're on YouTube, you can always rewind while it's live. That's weird to me, but it's super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. And thank you, Wade, for sharing the link to day one. We started this process yesterday. I say we, but I didn't do anything other than stand here and smile while Stephanie did all the work.
You definitely did a lot. You're hosting, which is just as important.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I do my part. I try.
You do, yeah. Nice. So I think I'm good with this color comp. As we were chatting, I just filled it out quickly. I like the flow of this. I think I want to bring in yellow someplace else after looking at this. So I'm going to maybe add some more pops of yellow up here. That's the eraser tool.
Get some highlights in there, huh?
Yeah, definitely some highlights.
And while Stephanie works on the highlights, let me remind you that don't forget to submit your recommendations for creatives to highlight for our next Artist Spotlight. The Artist Spotlight will be in the next 50 minutes at 2 p.m. I'm in the East, so it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will review an artist, or no, we won't review. We will take a look and explore an artist's portfolio. So there will be a link that Wade will share, that where you can add in your own, submit your own link for a portfolio, or submit someone's portfolio link. And big ups to everybody in the chat. We got Enlightened Swami. Yes, nice, but you smile very good. I tried. Thank you. Bruce, thank you. Becca, thank you. Thank you all for the chat. RB in the house. And another amazing illustrator. Thank you for stopping through. There it is. Artist Spotlight tab is above in the chat on the Behance page. Thank you, Wade. Nominate yourself for another creative in the Artist Spotlight tab above the chat. Nice.
Alrighty. So I think I'm going to, at this point, I'm happy with what I have color comp wise. I think it's enough for me to get started on the main piece. So I'm going to pull out the little individual pieces and blow them up and fill them in with color. So let's start with this house. I'm going to minimize these, create a new layer, paste into there. And I'm not so worried about the size of them in relation to each other right now, because again, vector, which is a really great tool. But I'm not going to do any line work on them at this point until I get them in the final layout. So then that way there's consistency across the board on the line work, which is like a little trick, or not even a trick, but usually how I like to work if I'm applying line work to anything. I try to wait till the later phases so that the final product has a consistent look across the board, unless I'm having a varied line weight.
So you colored them one time to look at your color options, and now you're gonna color them again, but this time you're gonna get those straight lines you really want.
Yeah, this is like
Mm-hmm.
the more final
Mm-hmm.
approach. So taking a little more care with the corners and the lines.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Enlightened Swami says, creativity is the greatest rebellion in existence. Quote by Osho. Nice.
I agree. I love it. I love it.
Uh-huh. If you're just joining us, illustrator and designer Stephanie DeAngelis is showing us how to take your artwork and add it to products. She adds different images that will be turned into patterns for a parachute tote bag. And of course, remember to subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment, question, or suggestion so that we know you are there. We won't know you're there until you say something, and we want to say something to you. So please drop a comment. That's a very straight eraser line. That's good.
Yeah, actually, I learned first time I was here with Adobe Live, I learned from someone in the comment section. They had given the suggestion for drawing straight lines, or gave their suggestion for drawing straight lines, and it said, look at where you're ultimately drawing towards. So look at the end point. And I was like, that's a really great tip. And I've definitely utilized that a lot since then.
That's right. And Wade says, that's right. Dennis calling out all the lurkers in the chat. That's right, lurkers. Say something. Bruce Gonzalez is also a great illustrator. Thank you, RB, for reminding me. Yes, Bruce is insane. Some of his work is just like, how can that be a drawing? That must be a picture. That's how good he is. Hello, Jenny. How you doing? Welcome to Behance and today's stream on creating illustrations for products with Stephanie DeAngelis. Nice. That's right. I like that process too, where you do the outline and then just fill it in with the paint bucket.
It's my favorite part of the vector brush, or favorite feature of the vector brush.
Yeah. And so I feel, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay. I said I was just kind of refining the shapes now from there, which definitely makes it easy to fill really quickly and then build upon the shape.
And I was gonna say, so right now your brush doesn't have like pressure sensitivity, or you're just so good with the pressure level of your pencil.
So I definitely turn it. It's at 45% right now, the pressure dynamics. I know for myself personally that I'm pushed down pretty hard, so I try to turn it down because I can I can definitely notice quickly the line weight shifting if I push. So there's a very little bit of pressure on there right now.
That's good. Yeah, you want to control the pressure at least when you're when you want to get that refined edges. You want to refine the edges. The more control you have, the better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another tool I would recommend, is when you're kind of getting started in your creative process, and it evolves as you go, but play around with a lot of brushes too and see what you're drawn to. Don't feel like you only have to, or don't, I would just say explore before you start saying you don't want to do something. I guess is a good way to round that statement out.
Yeah, because you might like this squiggly look. They even the Fresco has some vector brushes that are all squiggly. I forget the name of them, but they're very wavy. So yeah, it's a tool for everybody.
Truly. I think I'm going to bring my brush size down a little just to help.
We were able to draw out Andrew. Andrew says nothing wrong with lurking. That's right. And I know that's too, that sometimes I will have a Behance session open so I can listen in to the conversation and then look up every once in a while, but I'm not necessarily putting comments in the chat, because I'm working on something else, and it's good to have that creative flow going around in my space by listening and watching a Behance stream. So I get it.
A passive participant.
That's right.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes. I like to put on either a past live or someone's stream in the background so I can still hear what's going on. And yeah, sometimes glance up and look, but I'm still able to do my work, you know.
Some people play podcasts or TV shows, and it's always good to have a Behance stream. Nice. I will remind y'all to stick around for the Illustrator Creative Challenges with Jack Watson, followed by a new episode on how to with Claudie. Claudie will show you how to create a social media campaign using Illustrator. I have it in my notes to say Claudie's last name, but I don't know if I can pronounce that right. So maybe Wade can help me out, or maybe you know how to pronounce Claudie's last name, Stephanie.
I don't. I'm not sure who they are, but I was going to say I really would like to watch that.
Yes, Claudie is a super talented, amazing designer, and Print My Soul is her brand, and she always has something that you can learn. In every session, she'll have something that is valuable for you to learn and try out. And I've done a few of these how-tos, and I'm always surprised by the tools that we use in those how-tos, where it's not a tool that I normally use. So it just makes that app, especially Illustrator in my case, that much more interesting. So check it out.
Right, so I'm going to add some shadow back here. I threw a clipping mask on. What layer am I working on? Not the right layer. All right, there we go. Now it'll work. I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Oh, look at that.
Add some shadow.
And you like the clipping mask because as you're drawing, as what the marks that you're leaving, as soon as they go outside of that shape underneath, there is no more mark.
Yeah, exactly. So I can share. So go over to the layer panel. I can just click this, and you can see that it goes off. And you don't need to use clipping mask, but I think it's a great tool. Definitely a great shortcut to get the color or whatever it is on the layer above clipped into what you have. So I actually highly recommend getting comfortable. It's super easy to use and very intuitive.
Nice. Welcome, Casey. Says first time on Behance, and that you're working on your first comic. Well, congrats, welcome, and we'd love to see you share that process when you get a chance. There's a lot of cool tools in Fresco that I like, and I'm always surprised by some of the new updates. So please try out Fresco. Download it. There is a link here in the Behance page. If you're watching this on YouTube, come on through to Adobe Live here on behance.net/live, and you will be able to just click through the Fresco icon and make sure that you can try out and test Fresco. Fresco works on PCs, on most PCs, on all the Surface devices, Wacom devices, and on iPad. And I think Stephanie is working on an iPad. What kind of iPad do you have there?
Yeah, so it's older. It's an older model. I believe I got this iPad in 2017. So definitely an older generation, but it works really well on the iPad. It is super compatible with the Apple Pencil. That's currently what I'm using right now. Yeah, I would highly recommend. There's great features, and yeah, I think you had mentioned yesterday just how robust an app it's truly become with the animation assist and always cool updates.
So you don't need the latest and greatest. You don't have to spend all your money on a brand new shiny iPad, even though it's cool.
Even though it's
if you got the money, go for it. Go ahead and buy 2 or 3. One for Stephanie, one for me, and one for you.
Exactly.
And but no, yes, it's I have my first iPad. It was used. I actually traded a Mac Mini
nice.
for an iPad, and it already had a crack on it. I went to a pawn shop, and they had it advertised on Craigslist. And so I gave them a call, said, "Hey, I want to trade. What do you think about it?" They asked me for the specs on the Mac Mini, and they agreed to a trade. So I walked in, handed them the Mac Mini, they tested it, wiped it, and then they handed me this iPad. I still have that iPad to this day.
Nice.
It has a crack on it. I didn't care. I went and bought a screen protector and a pencil, and boom, I was drawing on the iPad. They're very reliable, and they're awesome for the type of illustrations that I like to do. And Fresco is one of those tools that are perfect for a touch device like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, you can find used iPads, refurbished. There's a lot of different options out there. And and they last a long time.
Yeah, if you take care of them, yes.
If you take care of it, yes, definitely. Definitely, if you take care.
That's right. I still have that iPad. It's got a crack on it. I never thought about selling it because it's got a crack on it. So, some people may not see the value of the device. And I'm like, man, that's a drawing tablet for me. Crack or not, the value is in that I get to use it for the art that I create. So, yes.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
All right. So Wade says, Claudia's last name, I thought it was Print My Soul. Yeah. Her last name is pronounced Virgin. Yeah. Claudia Virgin. So there you go. I hope she doesn't mind the way I'm pronouncing it, but definitely super talented. Paloma says, yeah, I was thinking about getting me a new iPad on Swappa. Any source that you can find for a device is great. Just make sure you have the time to test it. Always sit down with the person. Do not pay for it online. Pay for it in person when you're there and test the device. Make sure you can test the speakers, test the screen, bring a pencil to draw on it, and then make sure you can reset the device and create your log in with your account on that iPad, so that then for sure that the iPad will work for you.
Yeah. Great tips, safe for sure.
Yeah. Go meet at a coffee shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Indoors where there's lots of people hanging out on the counter. Sit there and let everybody see you. But I've bought lots of used. I've only bought new maybe 4 to 5 times Apple products, and every other time it's been used. I tried to find deals, and it used to be I was a tattoo artist. I started my art career as a tattoo artist.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, thank you. And I had lots of fun, and so I always look for that trade. Like there's always somebody who has something that I want, and I would offer them a tattoo. I have an iMac right here next to me, and I traded this 27-inch 2015 iMac for a 4-hour tattoo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good trade.
Yeah, it is. I've had it for like 4 years now, and it's been working great since. But yeah, I find people on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I've never used Swappa, and I know there's a few other platforms. And I'll find what I like, and I offer them a tattoo. I haven't done tattoos. I kind of semi-retired because
really
of the
cool. There's You
because
haven't
of
done
the
in a while?
yeah, because of the change of the society. And
Yeah.
so I was like, you know what, let me take a break. And I do have plenty of illustration work, but when I was doing tattoos, I would offer them a tattoo in exchange for their device. And 90% of the people would tell me to leave them alone in not so kind words. And then, but one out of
Oh,
10 person would say, hey, I was thinking about getting a tattoo. Let's do it. And boom, new device, new to me.
I love it. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Yeah, that's awesome. Trading your one skill for the other product. I
Mm-hmm.
would probably probably take that.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
That's right. And it's just about, it's like it's called bartering.
Yep.
And one person has what the other person wants. And the other
Yeah.
person has something that the first person wants. And that's it. Let's go ahead and make the trade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Such a good way to go about finding gear that you want.
Yeah, that's right.
And I and yeah, you can find stuff all over like Facebook. I know I'm in I don't often use Facebook, but I'm in like some groups like free trade or trade groups or like buy nothing groups, which I know
Mm-hmm.
got really
Mm-hmm.
popular
Mm-hmm.
recently. But people a lot of times just want to give away brand new things or like gently used stuff. Yeah,
Right.
I see a
Yep.
lot of iPads, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really nice that you can find these communities like in your neighborhood if it's available
Mm-hmm.
to you, where people are giving that away, or alternatively people ask for stuff that you might have where you can trade or give
Mm-hmm.
too. So definitely
Yep.
a lot of cool resources or more resources nowadays to find stuff that's affordable, or getting a gear that you need that you might not have access to.
That's right. Use the internet access to
Yeah.
find those things because it's there. Yes, they are there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jenny says, I'd probably take that trade too.
Yeah. I would definitely take that trade.
Yeah, it's yes, I found myself constantly messaging people, and then finally finding one person that would take the deal and like, yes, I got what I wanted. And my wife is happy with that because that's money we're not spending. She
Yeah,
gets
I
to
can
keep that cash.
imagine.
Hmm. Keep that cash. Make a trade.
Yes. And I don't know if anybody is from the UK or is familiar with this, what I'm about to describe, because I don't remember the name, but I was recently in London, which
Mm.
was really fun. But I saw in the tube stations they had ads for a used tech marketplace, and a
Mm.
really cool design. It definitely caught my eye. But it was a refurbished tech online platform where you could just buy used iPads or iPhones that had good like certification. But I was really drawn to the campaign. It had really cool typography, really cool imagery, fun copy. Uh, so yeah, I'm not sure what it's called. I wish I did know, and maybe I'll find it and share on IG after. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, there's a lot of cool like resources now to buy that, and it's also sustainable. or
Yes,
or like
it's
use it's still good. You can still use
mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's used, but it's still good. So, yeah, and you don't throw away the device. You don't, and someone else gets a chance to put it to work. So, yes, that's super awesome.
Totally.
Hmm. Yeah, I got lots
Yeah,
of
I
stories. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I first digital drawing pad I had an old Wacom. uh
Hmm.
it an old coworker just gave it to me. So I was like, wow, thank you so much. And it was really old, but definitely helped me learn. And then I paid it on forward to someone I knew who was getting
Hmm.
into that too. So I hope it's still existing, but
I hope it's still working. Putting in work.
yeah.
Yes, as long as they turn on and they do what you want it to do, then yes. Put it to work. Oliver's asking, was it CEX, Computer Exchange? I think it's asking if that's the name of what you had seen, but that doesn't seem to be limited. That word or that brand is not limited to any particular place. So that's hard to tell.
I don't think that was it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try really hard to try to remember the name.
Go follow Stephanie on her Instagram, where she will share when she remembers.
Yes.
There you go. So stay tuned for more. Years ago, a friend of mine had a Wacom. It's already 20 years old device. It's a big 21-inch Cintiq.
Wow.
And he wanted me. He was open to trading it to me. So I gave him a couple tablets. I had like some Samsungs at that time that I had collected from tattooing, and so I said, "Here, I'll trade you 2-3 devices. I forget how many for that Cintiq." And he said, "Deal." And he was used to reselling a lot of things, so it was a good deal for him because he could definitely find buyers for tablets versus a big Cintiq. Which an artist will buy a Cintiq, but the price is sometimes a little bit way out there. Yeah, and so I bought it. So we traded it. I kept it.
Nice.
And then a couple years ago, it was my wife's birthday. We were gonna travel out of town, and a week or two before, I found somebody who would trade me an iPad Pro for a Cintiq. The same kind of Cintiq that I already had, but the newer version.
Nice.
And the newer version was still already 10 years old. But there's 21 inches, huge. They're huge and massive. And so I got him to agree to a trade. So while we're on our way to the vacation spot, I had to do a detour, and it's like a 4-hour drive to the vacation place. So halfway there, I had to do a detour, get off the highway, meet somebody at the McDonald's, so that we could do this trade and test out this Cintiq.
So were you in like the parking lot with your laptop?
We went into the McDonald's. That we couldn't find any power on the wall. So next door was a motel, and we walked into the front desk of the motel and asked if we could just sit by the chair and use their power for 5 minutes, and they agreed. So here we are, walking from one parking lot to another with a big box and a Cintiq in it, and boom. But he was happy with the iPad, and I brought home the Cintiq. So then a friend of mine, the past few years, she's been working really hard in children's books, and
Cool.
she's been getting a lot of contracts. And so I had those 2 Cintiqs, and I wasn't using one of them. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna give you the older Cintiq, because you're at the point now where you need that reliable device that you can draw on, and it'll move your work faster.
Yeah.
And so went to her house, set it up, and she's been loving it ever since.
You're a good friend.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but like you said, you want to see the device being used by someone who recognizes the value
Totally.
and puts it to work. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, once tech evolves really fast and there's always new stuff coming out, and I think if you're in the position where you can trade or give it to someone who's younger, who's learning, it's a great way to like help them on their creative journey. And of course, that's like if you're able to do it. But yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Actually, that reminds me of a Cintiq that I don't really use very often. So I'll what to do with them.
Save it for when we go visit LA.
Yeah,
we'll have a couple devices to draw on. But yeah, it's awesome to have a variety of devices to work with depending on the project. I love the iPad, but sometimes it feels like I need that extra room for drawing.
Yeah, definitely.
Andrew says, got me about to dig up my Intuos 4 Touch. I forgot I even have that thing. Well, those things are awesome still. Yes. I don't use them for drawing, but I use them for when I'm in Illustrator. Yeah. Using that pen in your hand to use the pen tool in Illustrator is amazing. It's much faster than the mouse. But you have to practice. You need lots of practice.
Yeah, definitely. I used to have an old tablet, and it would be one of those ones where you would be drawing off to the side and looking at your screen versus like drawing directly onto the screen. And I think now to myself, like, how I can't believe I was able to work like that, because I feel so like being able to draw directly onto the screen with the iPad is such for me, a game changer. So I'm just adding some shadow into this tree here.
And it looks awesome.
Thank you. Really like the bench. I think I'm going to add some shadowing in this tree, but I'm not sure I'm going to lay down the shadows first. So I'm just going to start playing around with that.
It's a nice shadow when you're sitting there reading your favorite book at the park, watching people.
Yeah.
Feeling that nice cool breeze.
Yeah, thankfully it seems cooler out today where I am in LA, so hopefully it's not that hot for a few days.
And it's early for you, so you got plenty of daytime to go hang out.
Yeah.
Don't forget, everybody, in 20 minutes, we will have our artist spotlight. You have an option to vote on the artist spotlight. Click on the tab that says artist spotlight above the chat, and you can nominate your fellow creatives for the artist spotlight. If you'd like to nominate yourself or another creative from Adobe Live community for the Adobe Live artist spotlight, just fill out the form. There is a link for the word form. In the word form, there's a link. Just click on it, and they'll be considered for our next segment. Make sure you follow Stephanie and Instagram or here on Behance. Let her know how amazing her work is.
Thank you.
Yes, it's super awesome watching you put this together. And after the stream, make sure you stick around for the Illustrator Creative Challenges with Jack Watson, followed by a new episode of How To with Gladys Virgin, where Gladys will show you how to create a social media campaign using Adobe Illustrator. That's been my go-to app since 2000, the year 2000.
Do you draw a lot in Illustrator?
All of my work ends in Illustrator.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. The day that a friend of mine showed me how you can make a line in Illustrator, and if you don't like that way that line is, you can pick it up and move it. That's the day my mind was blown away. And I was like, I'm in it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I gotta understand this pen tool and draw, because you get so used to traditional media, pencil illustration or whatever, pencil drawing, and if you don't get that line right, you draw it again and again and again till you get that line or that curve, whatever. But and with Illustrator, you can draw using the pencil tool or the blob brush, but if you use the pen tool and the anchor points and paths, it doesn't matter where you drop that first line. If it's not right, you can adjust it again and again and again. And then, like some things that you mentioned today, is that when it's in vector, the artwork can be blown up to whatever size you want it to be. The art is still sharp and clean and crisp. And I was like, oh yes, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Yeah, that's my favorite feature. I was just thinking, when you were saying that, I was thinking about how anytime now, if I'm drawing, I sometimes feel my hands, if I like make a mistake, I feel my hands go like hit Control Z to like undo it. I'm like, nope, this is a pencil and paper, you're gonna have to turn it around and erase it. Or
That's
like
right.
I see myself, I definitely do this a lot. I'll try to pinch in to the paper as if you were
Mm-hmm.
to like pinch in on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just funny how your
Yep.
brain rewires itself to learn different things.
Yep. You're sitting there doing traditional art, and you're like, I need to get closer to this.
Yeah.
Just try to pinch and zoom. Now that's it. That's real life.
Yeah. gotta gotta figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, yeah, so I've got a couple of these, hide this down. I have two forms kind of
Mm-hmm.
coming together. I'm gonna add more detail once I lay down out the pattern, but these are just the general first pass. So now I think I'm gonna work on the egg cloud flowers.
Yes. 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 Those are awesome. What's up, Ashley? How you doing? Thank you, Tony, for coming through the chat. Ashley says the illustrations are looking great. That's right. And then Andrew says you got to use your built-in neck zoom.
That's funny.
Move your eyeballs closer to the paper. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Neck zoom. All right, so I isolated those out. I'm gonna hide everything, and actually I can delete this.
Don't delete it. Send it to me. I want it.
Okay. Airdrop it.
There you go. That's what people who admire artists will do. Like, don't throw that away. And you, as
Yeah,
an artist, you're like, no, this one's not good. I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
I know that. I can definitely relate to that.
Mm-hmm. They'll pull your drawings out of the trash. I'm like, I threw it away because it's not good. Hello from Brazil. Sorry.
Oh, no
Pedro
problem.
Carvalho from Brazil. Look at you. That's cool. Let us know where you're watching this from. Pedro says Brazil. Very cool. And Ashley says, yeah, Ashley and Jenny, they're like, yeah, sometimes I want to touch my computer monitor, forgetting it's not an iPad. And then Ashley says, I totally tried to pinch some paper the other day.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where is everybody joining in from?
Yeah, let us know where you're joining from. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I am born and raised in East LA, but I've been out here for a long time. And I know Stephanie is in Los Angeles. Let us know where you're from. Where are you now? While we make some eggs in the sky. Growing up, I did not like eating eggs. As a kid, I was something about eggs. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, I am with you on that. It's one of those foods. I like everything and eat everything. It's one of those foods that sometimes it's not always into it.
Yeah. Well, now I'm addicted. Now that I'm an adult, I'm addicted.
Oh, nice. Did you make
you
breakfast this morning?
I did not. Not this morning, but that is one of my go-to breakfast foods. Eggs. Yes.
Nice.
Love eggs. You can make eggs in any kind of which way you want. I don't care. I'll eat them. They're good. We got folks joining us from Korea. How you doing? Yunsuk, thank you for joining us from Korea. Jenny says California. Oliver, Northamptonshire, UK. Cool. Catherine says Wilmington, North Carolina. I've been in North Carolina near Wilmington. Clever Devlin says lurking near San Antonio, Texas. Bruce, I think you're in Texas. Cool. Nice. Becca says I used to have eggs every day, but then I went vegan. All right. So now you only have it every other day. No, I'm just Lori says lurking from Chico, California. And Riley says hello from the Sonoran Desert. What? I hate eggs too, but these eggy Flowery clouds are everything to me right now. Yes.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bruce says New York. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Texas. Sorry, Bruce. My memory. Good afternoon from rainy Florida. It's raining in Florida, Rob? Oh, man. Watching the stream from Oregon. Katie. Oh, Oregon, huh? I lived in Salem for 2 years when I was in high school. We moved to Oregon from LA. My mother wanted to get us out of the city. And the funny thing about Oregon is that if you blink, you miss summer.
Oh, wow. I heard it rains a lot.
Yes. And that's why it's full of trees and the air smells like wet dirt. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. Yes.
Very fresh.
They're very fresh. Yes. Lots of mountains and it gets cold. The winters are cold. Yes. Ottawa says Terry. Cool. Becca says Texas. New York. They are close. That's right. That's why I confused it. Mishka says also from Oregon. Nice. Yes, Oregon is a cool spot. I really like it. Pedro says, hello, everyone. Congratulations on the work. Stephanie DeAngelis. Yes, super talented.
We're watching we got the those. Process. Oh, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. All right, we got the egg clouds. Probably my favorite one so far. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to hide those and just keep going on to the next. I think I'm going to go for this larger scene up in the top right corner.
We got 10 minutes before the artist spotlight. Thank you, Oliver. It's raining here in the UK. We had summer last week.
Oh, yeah.
That was last week. Riley says, born and raised in Seattle, love that wet dirt smell. Yes. Montreal, Canada for Frank. Awesome, Frank. Jenny says, your laugh is contagious. Thank you for making me smile this morning. You are welcome. Stephanie, loving the illustrations. So captivating watching other artists' work. Yes.
Thank you all for joining. Yes. It's been super fun.
Together. It's coming together. Let's see what we got.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna go back to my color comp really quick to see what I started with. Got brown, green. Alrighty. Actually, I'm gonna eyedrop it. One of my favorite tools, eyedropper, of course. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna bring the opacity down a little bit more.
Yeah, I like the technique of drawing under the line layer. So that way you can still see your lines as you're coloring in areas.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I found that that's very helpful for me. I love watching people's process as well. And I love when people you like fill color and then erase away to the shape. I've noticed that a lot with other illustrators. Mm-hmm. I think that's super cool. But yeah, I like to follow my original line work and usually create an outline of the shape and fill it. Obviously, the bucket tool is super easy and it's a really fast way to fill your color. And then depending if I want to add texture or what brushes I'm using, sometimes I'll just color in the fill by hand.
Yeah, if the space is small, a quick little filling in by hand is easy. But when it's a big shape, just use the bucket tool. Get it in there. Yeah. And you can see the outline after you fill it in because the outline layer or the sketch layer is above the vector layer, so you don't lose your place of what you're looking at.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. And that's why I really like to try to go into like a more final point of my project with pretty clean lines, it just helps. So then you don't have to worry about the shape. You've already kind of decided what you like. And of course, things change as you go and you evolve it. But then it's it's a way easier workflow, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's what you want. As time goes on, you develop your workflows, and you have your techniques, because one of the things that I like about having a workflow for my art is that no matter at what stage I'm in the drawing, I can step away, come back a week later, and I pick up right where I left off.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it
Kind of
is.
like, yeah.
Oh
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I said it's just like yesterday. We
Yeah,
stopped and then we came back and picked up right where you left off.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helps too. I found that uh, I got to the point where I really, especially being freelance, I really wanted to try to work on my process, how I go about creating things.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that kind of setting up a structure about how you go about creating your work really helps too if you feel stuck.
Mm-hmm. I think we can't hear you now, Stephanie. Give it a second. I know I'm here. Boom, boom, boom. We are getting ready for the artist spotlight, so we'll be there in a second. And I think I see you now. And let me go ahead and see if we can get there it is. Looking
All
good.
right.
All
Hello
right.
there.
We're back.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's the internet. We're gonna blame it on the internet and the weather, wherever the weather is at.
That's fun. Yeah, it's the weather.
There we go.
All righty.
All right, 1 second. I'll be right back also. Bam. There we go. Back to our scheduled program. Everybody, we're hanging out with Stephanie, amazing illustrator and designer, showing us how to take your artwork and add it to products. And so far, we got amazing vignettes in a world that I wish I could just go hang out, at least vacation. If we can have a vacation spot, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, so I'm working on these power lines right now.
Hello from Las Vegas, says Yelly. How you doing? Janet, Northwest Connecticut. Cool, cool. Let us keep letting us know where you're at. That's an easy way to get you to engage in the chat. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know. Say hello.
Mm-hmm. Say hello, because in the next few minutes, we will hop off the iPad and jump into the artist spotlight. And Stephanie gonna give us a view of this amazing artist. And I like the fact that you added the second power pole. What do you call the second pole? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That'd be cool to connect the shape out a little bit more. I really like living in LA, the power lines are a key part of the skyline. So you see them everywhere. And I love the interaction between trees and that. And kind of the visual scene it is. It's very calming to me. And it is very familiar. So I wanted to add another one in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It expands on the idea of the vignette too, because it adds a little extra details.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel more focused. Very cool. Joshua says I used to live in LA also. That's cool. Joshua's in San Mateo. All right. And Casey says not yet got into Illustrator iPad version. You should. And Adobe Illustrator on the iPad also has a couple of brushes that are very similar to the vector brushes in Fresco. So I encourage you to try it out. And Stephanie's, what is it you using to draw the power line poles?
Yeah. So I'm using the vector brush, using the round brush right now. The size is 6.5. I think I'm going to I'm going to go back to my color comp, but first I'm going to collapse these layers into a group. So it's easier to toggle between. Turn that off really quick. Turn these back on. Alrighty. I'm going to eyedrop this bush down here to pull the color and just check back what I had, or check back on the colors I had chose for this piece.
Nice.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna add the foreground.
Very cool. So we're gonna take a break from this illustration and go ahead and pull up the artist spotlight so we can check out this amazing artist. If you're interested in participating in the artist spotlight or like to nominate yourself for another creative, check out that form and the artist spotlight above the chat. Boom, here we go.
All right. So yeah, so the artist I want to spotlight is an illustrator, designer, and a friend of mine, Monique Zarvaf. She is based in Miami. She does a lot of awesome work for different agencies that are, sharing educational and informational work or content around climate activism. She does a lot of really awesome design work. So if you're a budding designer, I highly recommend going and checking out some of her stuff. She is also an illustrator. I love her use of texture. It definitely draws from nature and where she lives in Miami. Super cool. I love her use of bold color. Yeah, I highly recommend going and checking out her work.
Yeah, that caterpillar look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like an illustrator.
Yeah, I think she does a lot of stuff in fresco too. So highly recommend checking out her work.
Nice. Look at it. So the link is we're gonna add it to the boom. Let me grab it and add it. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Wade. Monique. How do you say the last name?
Zarvaf.
Zarvaf from Miami. All that art is amazing. And just the illustrations. I'm like that's my thing, illustrator. They're so clean. Yeah, that is awesome composition right there.
Yeah.
Yes, look at that. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Looking down at the rest of her drawings, you can see an example of that hand with the flower. If you go down halfway, a little bit, yeah, that's one. And so that's the butterfly. There's another one with the flower, and there's a sketch on a line drawing, line paper. A little bit further down, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, and it's like there's the inspiration of the first sketch, and then boom, illustrator.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love doodles like that because sometimes the ideas just come to you. You got to get it out. Eventually, you'll have time to get into Illustrator or Fresco or something else. But in the meantime, you don't want to leave that idea in your head because you'll forget it later. So go ahead and sketch it out. Nice, very cool work. And how did you know this artist? You worked together before?
Yeah, we used to work together and became good friends. And we no longer work together, but we've stayed close, and I've loved following her creative journey. Like me, she's also a designer and illustrator, so it's really cool to meet other people who are doing that, and we've definitely become creative collaborators. We talk about our work a lot. We share stuff with each other. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Awesome work. Thank you, Monique, for submitting your portfolio so we can check it out. It looks awesome. Everybody go follow the link that Wade has added. There's a question. Maybe we'll get to it after the spotlight. Okay, good. Yes, we will. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for that, Stephanie.
Yeah, of course. Definitely go check out her work.
Tell them that Stephanie sent you.
Yes.
Yes, during the Behance Live. Hopefully they saw this and they feel good about it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we got 20 minutes left, Stephanie. I don't know.
I know. I'm trying to, I was thinking, I was like, I gotta keep pushing this through. Get
Mm-hmm.
all right, double
And me
time
asking
now.
questions doesn't help. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally okay. I've enjoyed all the questions. Time to multitask a little bit.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. We have a question. Well, Yale says your work is awesome. Oh, to Monique, very cool. And Chad had a question. Any tips or advice for someone like me? Never figured out how to imagine something and draw it. It frustrated so much that I gave up drawing. No.
No. Yeah, I agree. No.
No.
Well, for one, your frustration is valid. I definitely understand. It can be a very frustrating process. You want to create something, and getting from point A to point B, point A being like, the idea you had in your head, point B to being out on the paper, can be very overwhelming. But for one, definitely know that that frustration is like valid for sure, but don't let that deter you from actually creating something you want to create. It takes a long time to get to a point where you have more confidence when you're starting out on your work. There's a beginning stage. So I would say if you're feeling frustrated, maybe I would always say try learning something new, maybe like take a class online, start following people to gain that inspiration to kind of see their tips and tricks. And practice makes perfect. I used to, or a practice I've started to utilize in my work, even when I don't have projects, is drawing a little bit almost every day. That timeless saying, practice makes perfect, is truly, when it comes to your creative process or developing as an artist, that's truly like the magic, is just practice and putting in the work with that. And I promise it's magical how it happens, but once you put that work in, you start to see it come through. Like I feel like you feel more content, and you will hopefully be happier with the work you're creating. But it does take time, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I know that, or I don't know, but I've definitely read a lot, and I've heard different accounts from people how a lot of artists, when they're first starting out, usually give up because of the frustration with getting started. And know that you're not alone in that. All artists go through it. I think I mentioned earlier too that a lot of times we're only seeing the final awesome piece that someone's done, not all of the rounds they went through trying to get there. Not all of the sketches that they went through, how much time they put into it. So yeah, don't be discouraged. I know it can be, but keep working through it, and eventually you'll get to a point where you're vibing with your work.
There you go. Nice. Yes, don't give up. But it's just explore. Take your time. Yele says Stephanie's work is awesome. Also, I love the woman she created. Also, enjoy her color palette.
Thank you. I appreciate you all being here.
Go check out Stephanie's Instagram and just start picking the palettes off of her work right there. Boom. We're getting near the end. We have another 15 minutes. Boom. And so you guys go ahead and ask the questions you want. Get in on this chat here. We have a chat wide open. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. And please leave a like. There is a thumbs up. I forget what it's called here. Appreciation. On Behance, it's called an appreciation. And stick around for the Illustrator Creative Challenges with Jack Watson, followed by a new episode of How To with Clady, where she will show you how to create a social media campaign using Adobe Illustrator. I think I am going to stick around for that myself. Adobe Live replays are available when you're offline, and we have replays on both YouTube and Behance. So please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on these creative goodness. Oh, well, we let Stephanie focus. It looks good. I like it. I think it's a very cool art style. And Chad says, thank you for the advice.
Of course. Yeah, I definitely struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. I think there's a huge personal element. I think if you're a creative person, there's a level of vulnerability that you have with your work, and it can definitely be overwhelming at times. And just know that, yeah, we all experience imposter syndrome in some respect at some point in our career, but I don't let it discourage you.
That's right. Yep, you gotta keep practicing, practice. And and I think somebody mentioned this, and I forget exactly the person who mentioned it, is copying other people's work, other artists' work. Just use their example of their work for you to try out something and just see what it's like. Little by little, you'll start finding your own way. You'll start finding the things that you like to draw, the techniques that you like drawing in. But it takes a lot of practice. It's gonna take time, and it's in how fast or how soon you get good at it. It's gonna depend on the time that you put into it. So try not to stress out yourself, because art's supposed to be fun. So don't stress out, please.
Yeah. And if you find yourself getting stressed, just take a little break and come back to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, all right. Don't force it.
So I'm going to lay out some of the pieces that are more final, just so we can start to get a view of it as we are getting close to the end of the stream. Definitely want to see it come to life more. I'm definitely into these. All right, I think I'm going to try to do this bottom. Actually, I'm going to try to do this character with the dog really quick. So I'm going to turn these off.
So many groups. There we go. Come on.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I
Come
gotta
on,
find
groups.
Alrighty. So now I'm gonna create a new layer really quick. Paste that in.
Yeah, and sometimes I find that when you blow up the drawing you're gonna work on, is helpful because of the line weights. The line weight can only get so thin. There's a limit, so you want to be able to expand on it.
Alrighty, bring the opacity down just a little bit more because the dog is white, and so I want to make sure I can see everything.
Alright. Chad is saying, I want you to think about references. We talked about references yesterday. So if you can draw anything you see, just not anything you can't see, well, then that means you have to find that thing you want to draw and see it, so then you can draw it. And we call those references. So look up lots of references for anything you have in your mind, and then you'll find that reference, so it's in front of your eyes, and now you can see it and try drawing it.
Yeah, references are great. I take a lot of photos of things I see. When I have a dog, and I take him out on walks a couple times a day, and I call it my like inspiration time, because I
Mm-hmm.
always see stuff I love, whether it's, a cool person, on a jog, and the way they're running is really like, you see a lot of movement, or they have a really bright outfit, or, the cool trees in my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
or the way the sun set, the light is like reflecting on the house. So yeah, I think you can find cool references, and um, I wouldn't worry even so much about it. Doesn't even have to be like literal. You can definitely find a lot of like figurative and abstract references for things too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's books and
Yeah.
magazines and internet. And yes, stepping outside.
Yeah. I mean, I like to
Uh-huh.
try to yeah, I feel like I spend a lot of time behind the screen, which I can't complain about really, but when I have the opportunity to, I try to get outside, um, take a break, get some fresh air.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's awesome. If you can move your mouse, Stephanie, that'd be
Oh yeah.
great.
I'm sorry about
Mm-hmm.
that.
You're good. You're good. Excellent resource says Wade, because Lori is added into the chat. My favorite book is called Imaginative Realism by James Gurney. How to paint what doesn't exist. So there you go, chat. Chat has just asked. So what about for something more fictional? Thank you for the awesome ideas. And there you go.
Very
What?
cool. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that book out too.
I just copied and pasted on a new window so I can take my time for it later.
Nice.
Wade says there's a lot of artists that will roughly sculpt their reference if it doesn't exist. Wow. That's right. And Chad says, what is this outside you speak of? Go outside, or sometimes read your favorite comic books, watch your favorite shows. You need to find a time for that to feed that inspiration. You feed the inspiration by the things that you're exposed to, and then when it's your turn to draw, everything you fed your inspiration will come out in a way that inspires what you're going to create next.
Absolutely.
So you must feed it.
Yeah, reading a book, listening to music, playing a video game that you like. I really love Animal Crossing. I feel like you could probably gather some of that from my work. So yeah, all of those things are great ways to like be nice to your mind and help get those creative juices flowing.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Becca says that I think the more you draw from reference, the more you get ideas, inspirations for how to make your own fictional ideas. That is correct. That is correct. So you start with the references, and little by little, you start adjusting those references to fit what you want to see. Mm-hmm. Kind of like this doggy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see a brown ear? Let's draw a brown ear. And I bet you that's a brown leg coming up.
Yep.
All right.
This is my way to create some shadow and some character with the pup, and add a spot on his back.
Yeah, that kind of looked like a saddle. So do not try to ride that doggy.
Maybe we'll add some more spots so it doesn't
There
look
you go.
so much like a saddle.
He's a fun doggy, not a riding dog.
Loosely inspired by my dog.
All right. Yeah, I used to have a cat. Love my cat. And sure enough, anytime I draw a cat, it's always inspired by my cat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if it's not my dog, it is.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Alrighty. I think that's good for the little pup. Go to the character now. Collapse that down.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Wade is asking, what's your dog's name, Stephanie?
My dog's name is Remy, actually.
Cool. Remy. And you only have one dog, one pet?
Yeah, I only have one dog. I would love to have more, but not necessarily realistic right now. But yeah, I love having a pet. Definitely, I call him my intern sometimes. Because, you know, if you are working remote from home alone, you know, you miss the office vibe. So I'm very thankful I have a intern.
Nice. You have someone to blame for the project results. Like, wait a minute, it was the intern that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My intern didn't send me the files in time.
That's super cool. Yeah, we're getting near the end. We have 5 more minutes. What are you going to be able to show us in 5 minutes? And I kind of want to remind everybody to go ahead and follow Stephanie's Behance and Instagram so that we can catch up to how this illustration ends. What does the final result look like? If at one day Stephanie decides to print this in real life, we get to see it by checking out her Instagram or Behance.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're definitely running low on time, so I'm gonna try to finish this character up over here. But I definitely plan on finishing this pattern and creating some reusable shopping totes, parachute bags with them. So definitely follow along. So you can see the final. Hopefully I'll try to wrap it up this week. And I will share it all there for you to see.
Yes, go ahead and click through the links that Wade has shared. There is a link to Stephanie's website, and on the website there's a shop navigation button that takes you through to the store and shop prints fulfilled by Society 6. I like Society 6. And there's 3 prints there. So go ahead and check it out. And you'll probably update us when you have that tote bag. For those of you who aren't into tote bags. Oh, look at that. There's pillows in Society 6. I like that.
Yeah, I think Society 6, there's a lot of awesome platforms out there. If you want to sell your work, I think Society 6 is a great site. I've been on there for a bit now and definitely recommend.
Yep. Yes. Anytime I draw something and people like it and they ask me for a shirt or a print of it, I will upload the file to Society 6, make the item, and then share the link so that Society 6 takes care of everything. Yes. Yes. Very cool. Please follow the links. Adobe replays are available when we're offline, and we have replays on both on YouTube and Behance. So please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the creative goodness. And stick around for the Illustrator Creative Challenges with Jack Watson, followed by a new episode of How To with Claudia, where she will show you how to create a social media campaign using Adobe Illustrator. I am DTM. Find me anywhere on the internet, Delta Tango Mike. And please follow Stephanie on Instagram, Behance, or her website. Send her compliments because the art is amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Any last comments from the chat? Let us know. Thank you, Wade, for all the links and chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat. You guys are awesome. Stay tuned for more here on Behance. And yes, chat, try that sculpting idea and get back into drawing. It combines being creative, original, and references. And sometimes when you're sculpting, you want to draw the idea a couple times just so that you have a plan of what you're going to sculpt. So definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I bought me some some stuff to sculpt because I have ideas on toys that I want. I don't want to go look for the toys and buy them. I want to build it myself.
That's super cool. I can definitely see your work translating into like figures and different toys. And I want to see that. I hope you do.
That's my homework.
Yep, that's your homework.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Becca, Chad, and everyone else who left a comment. If you leave a comment right now, I will say your name in the stream. We got 10 seconds left. There we go. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Stephanie, for the awesome artwork. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you all.